Good evening, everyone, listeners, viewers from around the world. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Elombah Television tonight. This is another opportunity for us to discuss the Anambra 2021 governorship election. Our topic tonight is Anambra 2021 governorship election, APGA's chances amidst party leadership legal tussle. Our guest tonight is Chief Edozie Njoku. He is the national chairman, All Progressive Grand Alliance APGA, the ruling party in Anambra State. Chief Njoku, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the program.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be on it.
Right. I understand you graciously granted us an interview some time ago.
Yes.
And the leadership legal tussle in APGA is of concern to those who are watching Anambra politics. Do you have anything to tell us more in that regard?
Well, I'll be brief. The legal battle is a known, most everybody is aware of the genesis and how it started. But for those who don't, I'll give a brief insight. Every convention and congresses are done every 4 years. The congresses of a party are used to elect the leadership of the party at the ward, the local government, and the state level. From that area, they will now get the delegates who will appear in a national convention to appoint the national executive of that political party. I think it's the same, literally, with nearly all political parties. We're all aware of, I don't want to use the word scam, I should use the word sham that was displayed by the former leadership of APGA in the primaries leading up to the general elections of 2019. The primaries were done in 2018. And in these primaries, it was terrible. In Anambra, terrible. In Imo, I have no word to describe Imo. In Abia, terrible. All around the country, terrible, because it just turned into a money minting machine for some people. They just collected money left, right, and center. That's not a new news. Everybody is aware of that. And because of a few things that happened, I had previously contested to be the national chairman of the party twice before. And I'd gone back into my business and I was indifferent. But with what happened again, I was quite embarrassed. And I decided to go back to run for that position of national chairman. Cutting a long story short, we decided to do, it was agreed by the party that Anambra had had a large share of the leadership of APGA, that the other 4 southeastern states should have a bite at the cherry to see if they could match Anambra or do better. And in the process, the convention was agreed that it would be done in Owerri, and then congresses should be done on the 2nd, 3rd, and 6th of May. And that all the results should now be gathered before the 10th and sent to Abuja for Oye and his executives at the national level to compile the delegates for the national convention in Owerri on the 31st of May. On that, something has gone off, so I don't know if I'm still talking. Okay, on that, between that 10th and I believe the 13th or 14th, they looked through the whole details of what was the delegates and saw that these were more or less pro people who wanted a change in the party. They put their heads together and decided to call a NEC meeting on the 14th, a day before the expiry of the tenures of their tenures expired, to call a NEC meeting on the 14th of May, which they did. The NEC meeting was called on the 14th of May for it to be now done for a day or a few hours before the expiry of their tenures. And in that NEC meeting, which was done in the government house, which there was a lot of security, people were stopped from coming in and out. A lot of the BOT members were not even invited to it because they were pro-change. So they decided, one of the first resolutions they made was that the BOT will be scrapped. Another resolution is that they are going to do their congresses should be done on the 19th, 21st, and 23rd of May. They also agreed that they will now do the National Convention will be moved from Imo State to Anambra, and they were now going to do it in Dora Kuyem. But they made a very big mistake. They had tampered with the BOTs, and the BOT, their tenure runs concurrently with a member of the national cannot change or sack. The national chairman doesn't have more powers than the chairman of the BOT. So he doesn't have the power, or even the chairman of the BOT doesn't have the powers to dissolve a BOT. So members of the BOT went to court and then got an order, an ex parte order. That ex parte order was singularly to stop every decision emanating from everything to do with that meeting should be held on hold, pending, and they gave an ex parte order for 7 days. So there was an order stopping their convention. But as you know, they had already appointed their convention committee, chairman, secretary, and members, who now went ahead as originally planned and the convention was done in Owerri, which I emerged, and other members of the national executive emerged from there. Now, Oye was very flustered with him and his cohorts. And what they did next was to run to the Federal High Court in Abuja and got an interim order. They went for an ex parte order. The judge asked them to put me on notice, but he went behind my back and served. And on that notice, rather than serving me, they pasted it at the one Libreville, which was his own office, the office that he was still occupying. So I had no idea about the interim order. And he now got another lawyer to represent APGA. You understand? Represent APGA that he took to court. You imagine his effrontery. He takes APGA to court and then finds a lawyer, says he's the APGA lawyer, who went into court and agreed with everything he said. And then the judge gave an interim injunction, stopping me from parading myself as national chairman and stopping the party APGA from recognizing me. The two of us were defendants and he was the claimant. So I found out and I appeared in court and the judge was taken aback and asked me, what am I doing without a counsel? I said, APGA came with a counsel, but I'm just finding out now that I'm meant to be in court. He said, well, you were served. I said, I was never served. That's not my address. And he asked them to serve me immediately in court. Obviously, with that service that was done, the other one has been rendered illegal. So there's no way he could have gotten that injunction. So the case started and he made his statements of claims, claiming I was not the national chairman, blah, blah, blah. And we made our defense. And when we put forward our defense, he now decided a few days before your internet connection is unstable, before he now decided to withdraw the case, came to court and said that he settled and I should go ahead. And they made a bravado. It's on national press. If you go into the archive, you see it. And he said that I should go ahead, and we celebrated, and all the press congratulated me as national chairman. So I now went ahead to INEC and wrote them a letter that they should now recognize me on the basis that Oye has thrown in the towel. And INEC did not give us that recognition. They said they would not write the letter. They came up with some other idea. I said, no, I want it to be in writing because I don't want, after a while, we start telling another story. So we decided to go to court to impel INEC to recognize me. That's the court case we are on. And as the case was going on, they suddenly, there's been no ruling, nothing was done. They went by trick and took it to the Court of Appeal just to delay because of the Anambra elections. But the most important thing, and that's the topic of the day, is that how does this affect the Anambra election? The thing I'm sad about is that APGA is making it a general thing. There is a leadership tussle between Chief Njoku and Ike Victoria. That's a leadership. We should, now that the elections are at hand, all of us should go back inward and make sure that APGA wins the governorship. And then after the governorship election, we go back, or during the week, go back to our tussle to find out who really is the national chairman. I've said to Oye's side that carry on with what you're doing because it's very important. Njoku's side, carry on with what you're doing. Get all the legalities in order so that nobody can get up and say, you did not advertise, you did not write, you did not do all the needful, both sides. But let's come together and make sure that we win. If Njoku's candidate, if Njoku now emerges as the national chairman of the party. Good, his candidate becomes the governor. If Oye emerges as the national chairman, his candidate becomes the governor, but still APGA governor is still there. But he finds it hard to articulate that, which I find very, very worrisome. What is your motive? We're one party, and APGA is not just an Anambra. You're not a state chairman. You are a national. You were a national chairman if you win. I'm saying. So that's in a nutshell where we are. You shouldn't really bother the position we are, because we and our national executives are doing the needful. At the end of the week, we also have a national working committee meeting, which we're going to dot a few I's and cross a few more T's. But we are on the move. We are doing what we need to do. And I hope he's doing what he needs to do, so we don't end up, you understand, we're in a legal tussle. That's in a nutshell.
Okay, we thank you very much for this succinct submission. My question at this point will be, is it correct to say that the legal question of who is the authentic chairman of APGA, the authentic national chairman of APGA, has not been decided by the courts? The
courts, you see, we are not a town union association. We're an association involved with politics. I don't have any fight with Oye. They have no court case. Oye has the court case about who is the leadership of APGA has finished. But the thing was that when Oye took me to court, INEC was not joined. You understand? So there has to be a legal thing that INEC has to bring INEC onto the speed we are. Oye is not fighting to say he wants to join this case, but we are finished with Oye in court. I have no business with Oye in court again. I'm the national chairman of the party. The only thing
but the question remains, is there a pending legal proceeding to questioning who is the national chairman of APGA? No, is there a pending legal process?
No, there's none. No. There's only a process impelling INEC to recognize me as a body.
Okay, how will you respond to this March 30, 2021 Vanguard report about the headline is Aspirants and Confusion over Oye Edozie Leadership Tussle. It went on to say that governorship aspirants in the APGA are said to be confused over court judgments and cases hanging over the leadership of the party at the national level.
You see, from the thank God I explained at the beginning, they shouldn't be confused. Well, there should be a bit of confusion, if I'm being honest with myself. But as I said on AIT a few days ago, they are doing the needful, because most of the people who are on that side have also come over to our side. So they are playing the two games to watch out whoever emerges, they are on that side. You understand? So they are being wise. So because they are waiting to see what will INEC do. You understand? So and that's what they should do. What they are doing is what they should really do as a human being.
You mean, how do you mean what they should is what they are doing? You mean challenging your leadership, or how do?
But they're not challenging me. What I'm saying is that they are on both sides. I can't go much further. I mean, I think I've been they are everyone is saying, okay, let us not be taking, they are on both sides, most of them are, not all of them.
I think the concern of the people who love APGA in the state is every Anambrarian is familiar with the PDP position in the state. Whereby in almost every governorship election, there is this confusion about which state NEC is the authentic INEC recognized NEC. And then at the end of the day, you will see several aspirants in PDP going to the election, and then even the voters will be confused about who they are voting for. And then at the end of the day, the top will now decide after the election has been done. That is the problem that some Anambrarians have. What do you have to say with that regard?
Well, I'm sorry to say what I'm going to say now, because I've also experienced that. I was the federal house candidate for APGA in 2003 in Onitsha North and South. And PDP had two candidates. You know, they had Gozie Abakoba and Jesse Balong against me. One was from this side, one was from the other side. They played their games very, very well. And what they were interested in was winning the election. And at the end of the election, the rightful candidate who was the right fit to win the election. The most important thing for APGA at the moment is to win the election. You understand? We should. The crisis is there. We can't throw it away. I'm not, and I wasn't brought up to take money. I will not collect money from anybody to stand down. So Njoku is there, and Njoku will remain there. You understand? Njoku is there, and Njoku will remain there. Someone is playing something in. You understand? So nothing is going to change that position at all. Sorry, just 1 minute. Someone is distracting me with something. Yeah. So it will not change the position which we find ourselves in now. You get? We're in that particular position now. So it's I've just been distracted by somebody here. So well, that's the position we find ourselves. You understand?
Okay. Do we pause for
I
you
don't
to?
know if you understand.
Yeah.
I've finished. The questions left.
Okay. Now, when will APGA start selling nomination forms in Anambra State?
They've already do APGA weeks ago. We've started a special. That's what I'm saying. Hello, can you see me?
Yes,
Hello?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, your network. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the network fluctuated. Yes. We've been on for weeks.
So how many people have picked up APGA nomination forms at this moment?
Quite a few. You know, we're in a crisis, so I want to leave it like that. And a lot of people are even, you understand, I'm sure they're even quite frightened on both sides. As I said, I'm a party man. The most important thing for me is for APGA to win. So I'm not at the game of playing, oh yeah, we are more than you or we're less than you. Let Oye be doing what he's doing. And we focus on what we're doing. And we're going to come out, do our primaries on the 27th. Someone is going to emerge, and we're prepared for election.
Okay, the APGA primaries will be coming up on 27th of...
Yeah, yes, 25th of June.
25th of...
Yeah, 25th, yeah.
Of June.
Yes.
At this point, please, any person who have joined the meeting is free to ask questions. Indicate you want to ask question or make a comment by using your device to raise up your hand, and that will recognize you. Chief, my question at this point will be, in all these leadership tussle, what is the position of the Anambra State governor? Because he is still recognized as the leader of the party. So what is his position? Or is he just keeping silent? Or
someone asked me that same question at your channel. Someone did the other day, and I said he has not told me his position. I don't know if he has said anything openly. He has never expressed any position. If he does privately, I don't know. But publicly, there's no expression from him. I'm the national chairman of the party. You understand, the CEO of the party. So the board stops with me to make sure that things are run well. You understand? That's how I see it. I'm not going to pass the buck and say if things go wrong, it's the governor. No, it's not. He is the CEO of Anambra State, and all the responsibility, as Truman said, the bulk stops with him. The bulk of APGA stops with me.
And what is your personal relationship with the governor?
I don't have a personal relationship with him. I just know him as the leader of the party and the governor of Anambra State.
All right. Chief Njoku, you must be aware that I think it was last week, reports went out that the former APGA national chairman, Chief Victor Ume, endorsed Chukwu Masoludo as the party's flag bearer in the forthcoming Anambra governorship election.
Which party
what
is
your
which
sorry,
party?
sir?
Which party are you talking about?
Victor.
So which political party are you talking about?
APGA. APGA. Okay. Yeah, that Victor endorsed Chukwu Masoludo as the APGA governorship candidate. Even some news media went to town that Soludo has clinched the Anambra governorship ticket. What is your take on that news report, if any?
There is there is, I wouldn't say dispute because there's no dispute. Oh, yes, said it, that we don't have a dispute in Africa, but INEC is soon going to come up with a recognition, you understand? And there are two people who can either be recognized as the national chairman of the party. One is Ike Victoria, the other one is Chief Edozie Njoku. Either one of them can be recognized after the court case. You understand? So if Victor Oye feels that Soludo is his candidate without a primary, he's allowed to do that. But I don't know, an endorsement doesn't make one a candidate. You can endorse anyone you like. You can even endorse me now for Anambra governorship, and it doesn't mean anything until the primary is done. Or are they not going to do primaries if they were? Let's assume that he was a natural. Are they not going to do? What sort of rubbish is that? There's a procedure of bringing a candidate out. So I don't think that procedure we've gotten to that stage now, have we?
No, all right. Well, thank you very much. We have a hand there. The guy with Techno Canon, please tell me your name, and then I will change your device. So I will rename your device for you.
My name is Edozie Njoku.
Mr. Edozie Njoku, do you have a question?
Hello.
Mine is not that a question. I want to commend the effort of our national chairman. I have been a very active person since the inception of this leadership tussle. I was a delegate during the Owerri convention. I've also been following through the legal processes, and I can tell you that it's just a matter of time. The court will do justice to what the national chairman is praying. And I want to commend him for the way he has been doing so far and the way he has been coordinating the affairs of our great party, APGA. And I pray for more grace to his elbows. I just want to
thank you.
We thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Njoku. When my question at this point will be, the previous speaker mentioned court date. When are we expecting this court decision? And what will happen if that decision does not come before the Anambra State APGA primary?
You know that the question is, I know why you asked the question, because you are in London. In Nigeria, all the courts are on, you know, there's a strike, there's this civil unrest going on in the court. So knowing the date when that was, that's why I said the other day that Hoye is a very lucky man, because if it wasn't for the strikes, we would have known by now, by the grace of God, that case should be dealt with before that 25th of June. But the point I was making, which people find it very difficult to grasp, is that even if the case is not determined, that is why both sides should make sure they do the needful. Because no matter what happens, if APGA wins it, whoever emerges as a national chairman, whoever emerges as that national chairman will now, his candidate will be the governor of the state. If APGA has won.
But I'm sure you understand the difficulty that puts to anybody aspiring to be the governor on the platform of APGA, because how will they now pick nomination forms from which chairman who will sign their certificate as the authentic candidate if they win? Doesn't that put difficulty in the party?
Let me just answer a quick question. In years back, Omehe was the candidate of PDP in Rivers State. He finished his elections, he was sworn in, they were still in court. They went from the appeal court, went to the Supreme Court. When the order came from the Supreme Court that this man was a candidate of the party, he immediately, the other man it takes immediate effect. You understand? That is why I keep drumming that fact. Everyone should do the needful. Oye should do the needful. Njoku should do the needful, so that APGA is not the franchise.
What is that needful? What is that needful?
That's what you're talking about. The primaries, writing letter. You know, you've got to write to INEC. There's time limits. They're giving you a guideline. Election is a process. It's not just a day. The election process has started now. So do not be left out of that process. Even if you take the form to INEC and INEC reject it, it's on record that that candidate was the candidate of the lawful chairman. You understand? Those are the needful. Are you there?
Yeah, yes, I think your network is fluctuating. Or is it my network that's fluctuating? I think it's okay.
The Wi-Fi is still on. Yeah, it's still on. Okay, it says my network is unstable. I don't know why.
Okay, if you can hear me, so what I understand from what
very well.
Okay, what I understand from what you are saying is that the primary of the party will take place on June 25.
Yeah, June 25.
And okay, an aspirant of the party can pick up nomination funds from you.
Yes, and I hope Oye is giving out nomination funds where he is.
Okay, so an aspirant will also pick nomination from Oye.
Yeah, from Oye, yes.
So which means it's a gamble. So I will now gamble and say, okay, let me go with Chief Njoku, let me go with Chief Ngoye. Whoever now eventually comes out to be the party chairman, then I will be the recognized aspirant.
You are quite close to the truth. You are very close to the truth.
So how are you saying that will not affect APGA's chances in the election?
It's only if APGA allow it. You see, all these things we are talking about now is what is these are things that we should be doing indoor and say, listen, let us not allow. You understand?
Exactly.
And that is why you seem very uncomfortable doing it. But,
yes. Okay, I understand your position.
Quite uncomfortable doing it.
Yeah, is there no board of trustees? I mean, the party elders that can now step in and say, okay, let us resolve this in the house, as we have just suggested.
I started what I said initially that there was so much chaos. They now have a set of board of. Let's not even go. These are, you understand. The thing is that the party has gone through a terrible times, and those are the things we want to rectify. But our other people just want Anambra elections to be going on. Anambra, all they're interested. Look at we just had a senatorial election. I've never seen APGA pull so poorly. There's meant to be local government elections in Abuja. Nobody talks about it. APGA goes for election. We don't even pull up to 200 or 300 anywhere else. It's just Anambra that everybody's focused on. It's not good now. The party needs to be completely revamped and brought back to the glory when we started the party in 2002. It's gone from that. So when you see you're always talking about Anambra, he's the state chairman of Anambra State, which is very, very sad. So a lot of people around the whole world, around the whole country, are really pushing, please God, let this man, let this thing go the right way so that these guys can be moved aside. Let's know whether we can rebuild our party. Let's see whether we can rebuild our party. You understand? So that is where we find ourselves. We find ourselves in a terrible quagmire. And all they talk about is Anambra, as if Anambra is the only state that could. We had two governors previously. The two governors left and one moved to PDP, the other one moved to. You see, the whole thing has been in a mess for quite some time. We need to really go back to the drawing board and organize ourselves and not just try to hold on to power. That's the sad thing about before we won Anambra State, we had no governor. And we started well, but it was derailed. You understand? We need to go back to the drawing board and really organize ourselves.
All right, so let's move to Anambra in general. Anambra is you've just mentioned something about where we have a governor from the APGA, and then we have senators from the PDP, the rest from PDP, and even I think, is there anyone from APC? And then we have a lot of House of Assembly members from APGA. What is your take on this unique politics in Anambra State? Because I'm not sure it's being replicated in any other state in the Federation.
You see, as I said earlier on, I contested for Federal House in Anambra State. I lived in Anambra, and I was the candidate for. Are you still there? Hello.
Yes, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay. I was the candidate of Anambra State, of Onitsha North and South. under APGA. And I know how organized APGA was then. If it wasn't for that, what happened in 2003, where PDP, Obasanjo, this happened in the States, nearly everyone in the States would have been APGA. Nothing has changed. I remember then how the Okada, everybody, how they all came out and fought for us. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And the only thing is that we need to get the people to trust in us again. People have lost their trust. People have lost their confidence. We need to build back confidence of the people. You understand? And you see people, sometimes you even resign when things are not going the way in civilized. But yeah, you lose. You go and take an injunction out on someone just to perpetuate yourself in power. So these sort of things, we need to, all these things are why there's so much crisis in Nigeria. Keep saying, why is there crisis in Nigeria? Because people are bottlenecked. People don't have an avenue to express themselves any longer. They don't have an avenue to express themselves. So they just react maybe violently or other ways. If they had avenues to express themselves better, then you see that they will use those areas to express themselves. And we should really look inwards in what's going on, particularly in the Southeast. As a national chairman of APGA, I'm a national chairman of the whole of Nigeria, but I'm from the Southeast. So I have to focus on the Southeast a bit. We need to really look inwards and not be, as soon as when something is spoiled, then Hannes will come out, everybody will come out and we'll start talking about it. What's happening in APGA is a very, very critical thing, that eyes of the leaders of Igbo land, who their people favor the party. It's a national party. But the Southeasterners have a special love for APGA as a platform. They have some special love for it. So we should really look into what's going on in APGA, not just allow it to just toss around from here to there and some man gets up and says what he wants at any time and thinks that it's just to be bravado and shouting down at people. That's not politics. Everybody must be inclusive. Oh yeah, it's very important to APGA in Amobia. You understand? When he loses, I'll be one of the first people to go to him in Amobia and say, please, I want you to stay in the party because he is relevant where he's from. Everybody's relevant. But when they sit down, they say, sacked, sacked, sacked. That's what we find ourselves. Everybody's sacked, everybody gone. It's a terrible thing. Fighting everybody.
Do you see what you mentioned some time ago that we have a former governor in APGA, P2B, after his tenure moved on from APGA to PDP. We have in Imo State, Korocha moved on from APGA to APC. I don't even know which party he belongs to now. So what is happening in APGA a replica of the general political situation in the country? And what do you think about it?
You see, APGA is slightly unique. Why it's unique? It's a national party that the Igbos love. You could say that APC is a creation from ACN, you understand? The Yorubas love ACN, and they used it to form a national party, which they have a strong hold on. CPC was a strong, and ANP were strong in other parties. They moved to the next level. We need to organize ourselves. We really need to organize ourselves. And people from Anambra, I know Anambra should understand that there are 5 other states who equally love that party as much as they say they love it. You understand? And they must be brought into the picture. You can't just push people away and think that you can do anything. It's not done like that. You come into people's state, you decide who is their governor. Who gives you the right to do that? Who gives you the right to do that? It is the people who decide who is their governor, not you. You just wake up from sleep. You say, who as who? Who are you? Because you're national chairman or you're who? Who are you? After 4 years, you go to your house and be chairman of you and your family. So don't come and lord yourself over the whole country and 5 states who love the party, who really do love the party. That's my grouse.
All right. Well, moving from what you've just said, you know the popular APGA slogan, APGA Bunkanye.
No, it's not. It's not. Let me hold you back. That was created by Anambra. This popular slogan, Onyala Wannia.
Okay. But is APGA still in Kanye? Because I interviewed Chief Chekwa Sokori on this platform some time ago. He told us the story of how the formation of APGA, the process is underwent.
Yeah.
Wanting to create a party which Igbos will call their own. I think that is the
Yes.
spirit behind Nkanya and Ekwoku.
Yes.
So are we still, why APGA has moved on from that dream of being our own? Is it still our own now, or?
No, you see how I made it out. It's a national party, but the Igbos call it their own. They have a special affinity for it. There was, when we, just before the convention, there was a guy from the north, or he's my friend, who said, why was the national chairman of APGA come from the southeast? And I said to him, the reason why the national chairman, because the southeasterners have a special affinity for that party. They have one special love for that party. And it's to your own benefit that love is harnessed. That is why it does better than the Accord and the rest of. The very minute you move away that Igbo interest in APGA, it becomes another of these other 78 other parties. You understand? So you must harness and build from the known to the unknown. And the known is that the Southeasterners love APGA. They love it with a passion. You already have a 30 to 40% leverage of votes from the market women and co in APGA before you start contesting the election. Is that not what we should leverage on? You leverage on the main cake before you go for the icing on the cake. That's how I see it.
All right, let's call on Mr. Chikwendu able to ask his question. You can unmute yourself, sir. Are you able to unmute yourself, sir? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Miss.
Yeah, I'm fine now.
Okay.
You have almost answered the question I was going to ask. You were I'm not an expert in this. I came here to learn, frankly, So my question is, when you say that Igbos love APGA, I was going to ask you the foundations or the basis
of that statement.
Of your conclusion. Yes, that Igbos love APGA, where in several parts of the Southeast region, you have other parties being the ruling parties. And it's been Anambra State that has showed a devotion, some devotion to APGA, probably because of the foundation of it, its connection with the late Odumegwu Ojukwu. That's a speculation. So when you say that Igbos love APGA, and you are very emphatic, what's the basis of your conclusion of that?
Okay. It's a very, very good question, sir. And let me start from the beginning. As I said, I contested for federal house. I contested for federal house in Onitsha in 2003. And in that particular election, I had to do the election twice. After the first Saturday, the election was canceled and done the next day. And you know what electioneering is, that we then had less funds. So once an election is canceled, to mobilize funds again and all that. But I was still shocked the next 5 days, the sort of love that was shown by people there because of APGA, not because of me, but because of APGA. The first one, I got up to 98% of the votes. The next one, nearly 78% with nothing. When you look what happened between Okorocha, and Hakim in Imo State, Hakim was an incumbent governor. Do you know how difficult it is to remove an incumbent governor? If he had contested that election, any other political party, he would have failed it. But APGA mobilized. APGA mobilized, and the kind of mobilization you get in APGA are different types of people from different walks of life. They come out for different reasons. In the last election that took place, and let's even go to Abia State. You saw what happened with OT, and what happened was all the same power, you know, when the wrong candidate did this, did that, and not harnessing what we have at hand properly, and we create a lot of crisis up and down and collection of monies. It affects us. If you see what happened in Imo State, I don't know what state you are from. Every party, PDP particularly, everybody had given up on Imo. 17 of the highest crop of Ndimo came out in APGA because APGA was fully on the ground. But what happens to our friends in Anambra? Just foist somebody on us overnight. Someone who was in APC a week before, threw him in for us and scattered the whole thing. These things happen in all the various states. Not even going there. Most of the, as I'm not calling names, it's okay. Most of the executives you have in APGA, what they do is they'll go to the #1 man of the state, who is another party, and he'll give you a lump sum of money, and he'll bring the candidate into the party, frustrating the party there. Nobody ever comes out. Nobody will ever. Check states, I don't want to be specific. In APGA, you hardly see a candidate in most, because the #1 man has already given some money to somebody and he feels a candidate for him, and it's all as if we're all fools, everyone laughing, all big. APGA is not a big man's party, it's a party of the grassroots. You understand? So I'm even saying a lot as it is, and all I know from my own personal experience is that APGA is truly loved by the people of the Southeast, from my experience.
We thank you very much. I don't know whether Mr. Okebo has a follow-up or we move on to.
We move on. If I have, I will
All right. We thank you very much. We'll soon be rounding up this discussion. It will not pass 1 hour, so in the next 10 minutes. Chief Njoku, please. You said you didn't tell us those who have picked APGA nomination forms. We wouldn't put you on the spot for that because you have explained the reason why you wouldn't want to go into that topic. But who are the likely candidates? And before I go on, we already have 3 days ago, we requested for, Elombah Television requested for and obtained from PDP all the persons who have picked up nomination forms. We made that request from APC. They gave us all the people who have picked up nomination forms. We requested from APGA, we were told nobody has picked up nomination forms. But who are the likely aspirants we are expecting to come up from APGA?
Okay, APGA is one party. It's not two parties. Whether there is a faction that are saying rah to Oye or one rah to Njoku, the aspirants are known. You understand? They are known. But one thing we have to be, I'm quite cautious because I have been an Obotema. As I said, I've contested for national chairman twice before. And I've been an Obotema. What that means, the man outside, and all my people have suffered. So what happens in politics, and is that anybody who has bought a form with Njoku or with the other side wants, and I'm saying there must be a collective government. But anybody who has bought a form on one side and suddenly things don't go the way they plan, they'll automatically be victimized, and that's still a member of APGA. So all I'll say, let's have patience. On the 25th of June, you will see our what do you call it, our primaries live, and then you see those who are there and who will emerge.
Yes, but I understand what you're saying, but who are we expecting? That is, it doesn't matter whether they picked up forms or not. Doesn't matter from who they are supporting as chairman, but who are we looking forward to see from? It doesn't matter which faction of APGA we are talking about here. Who are we looking forward to see?
I'm not going to call any names because I'm just going to leave it like that. I won't call any names.
All right, and we can see other parties already campaigning on the softly. We have seen people already campaigning. Do you think whoever eventually emerges from APGA, is he not going to be disadvantaged?
Don't worry about it. Macron only came out a few months before the whole France with no political party, and the right thing was done. With the right campaigns, we'll win. All it needs for us to get ourselves together, which we are working on getting ourselves together. In a short period of time, you'll see that politicians will all move forward. You understand? Okay. But most likely under my leadership.
We have very few minutes remaining, but I think Okoro Benedict raising up his hand. Can you please unmute yourself and ask your question? Okoro Chinedum Benedict.
Yeah. Good evening, Dan. Good evening, the National Chairman, Chief Edozie Njoku. My name is Okoro. I recall that we have quite a few minutes to go. I want to commend the resilience of Chief Edozie Njoku and his ability to hold on to what is a renowned injustice being done in the party for a very long time. And this battle, this legal battle has lasted for 2 years plus now. And if I heard him clearly, he said that he's not willing to take money from anybody. I think we should be commending this kind of disposition, because we are in an era where politics has become a kind of everybody is interested in. They will tell you interest, my interest is interest. But the interest here is what looks like a heritage for the Igbo, the APGA. The average Igbo man is APGA man by psychology, by association, because it is not the bourgeoisie's party, it is purely a part of the proletarians. So I thank you so much, my dear brother, Chief Edozie Njoku, National Chairman.
Thank you.
And I like what Elombah is doing. He's been taking his time to mine into this issue, to understand how and where the crisis started, where it is, and the political implication. The reality is that by the time this battle is over, we must have learned some political lessons from Chief Edozie Njoku. You never can tell. What he is doing is likely to create a judicial norm, because why the battle has lasted, why the court has, why the legal issue has lasted this long is because of certain things that cannot be made overt, but then the resilience is important. And let us keep praying that APGA wins in Anambra, like the national chairman kept saying. That is what is most important. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you very much.
I thank you. My final question, I'm now coming up to the conclusion of my question. May I ask you now, sir, what will be your message to Chief Victor Oye if you, well, I know you may, I don't know whether what will be your message to him?
My message to Victor is that I thought he had finally seen reason. He didn't see you, Elombah, and take a court case against you that you are not the national chairman of APGA. He didn't see the gentleman sitting here and take a court case against him that he woke up in the morning and took me to court and got an injunction on me saying that I should not parade myself as that, because he knew in his spirit and a man that I'm the national chairman. He should do the right thing. He should do the right thing. Just do the right thing. That's all I can say to him.
And the right thing is to
allow the party to move forward. Let him allow the party to move forward. Let's just allow the party to move forward. Does he, the way he is, has he ever been to the southwest? Has he ever been to the north? Where has he ever been to the party? Has he ever even been to Delta State? Has he ever been to River State? Or has he, it's very funny. What is he really doing as a national? What does he do as a national? Is it just to wait for election to come and they pay for him? And you put 22 million. 22 million. The whole of Nigeria should also address political parties. What's all these big? Why should we be taking 22 million? How much is the salary of anybody? For starters, for us to be charging 22 million naira for an election. Even the 12 million naira is a crime, let alone 22 million naira. All these things needs to be addressed in this country. We need to really wake up to the realities at hand.
And my last question, unless there is any other person who want to ask a question or to speak, my last question to you is, what is your message to the Anambra at this point as we approach this November election?
Take heart, hold on. APGA was registered in June 2002, and elections were done in 2003. We literally swept the whole place and we produced a governor in that short period of time. Nobody believed it was doable. So let them just hold on, take heart. Don't feel disadvantaged. There are imminent crises going to implode in PDP and APC. They should just take heart. Their own is coming to an end. So we'll stay tuned. We'll see what I just said, that in a few weeks or months' time, you say that APGA crisis is just a small thing compared to the rest.
All right. We thank you very much. Chief Edozie Njoku, for being with us tonight. Tim, are you trying to say anything?
Actually,
oh, sorry, I think I muted you again. Unmute yourself.
Okay. I want to thank Chief Edozie Njoku for making out time from his busy schedule to attend this interview as he promised. He has not disappointed us before, and I'm happy he didn't disappoint us again.
Thank you.
Before I finally let go of you, Chief, I want to remind you that time is of essence. And I get, from the feedbacks I get, APGA has lost a very large milestone. Does that mean that there cannot be a way to resolve this issue without necessarily having, although you have hinted about it, but is there no other mechanism that, maybe internal mechanism that could be injected towards resolving this issue as soon as possible? Because if we are talking about 6 months to election and the APGA is not sure of what it's doing, then I think it is to the detriment of the party and thereby jeopardizing the chances APGA has to return the seat come November 6, 2021. What's your take, sir?
Yeah, I will say it's unfortunate, but most things, nothing in life is so simplistic. The crisis is already here. If they could have been averted, it would have been averted, but it's already here. And we need to truly, there's something that I think his name was Mr. Okoro said, we must learn how to stand up for what's right, stand up for, and not be wavered because of this or that, to stand up for, and then when you stand up for it, you'll find out that that problem is solved and we can now move on. But the problem needs to be addressed sometime, and we've come close now. Normally before, we are swept aside so quickly, but this time, we have put ourselves in a position whereby we can't be swept away that easy. So it needs to be talked about now. You understand? Normally they would have dealt, I've contested twice for national chairman. I was thrown into the dustbin heap on the day of the convention. You understand? But this time, we are now where we are. So I can't just let the grip go. We need to solve this problem once and for all.
We thank you very much, Chief Edozie Njoku, National Chairman, All Progressive Grand Alliance, for speaking with us on the Elombah television on this topic, Anambra 2021 governorship election, APGA's chances amidst party leadership tussle, and we at Elombah television wishes you all the best. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.